My name's Aiden, and for most of my marriage I thought things were good. Not because I was naive, but because I chose to trust. I believed in giving space, in letting love breathe. I didn't check phones, didn't track her location. I figured real love didn't need that kind of surveillance. Lily and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. She was smart, independent, always on the move. People were drawn to her, and she had that kind of charm that lit up a room. She knew it too. I didn't mind. Jealousy never felt like strength to me. It always seemed like a weakness I didn't want to carry. But then, slowly things started to shift. Nothing obvious at first, just little changes. Lily started staying out later, claiming it was all for work, for networking. Sometimes she'd get home at 2 a.m., brushing off my concern with vague excuses. "You don't know how these events go," she'd say. I asked questions, but they never landed. She deflected like it was nothing. And then David entered the picture. She mentioned him one night while we were making dinner, said he was helping with a product launch. "Just an old friend," she said casually, chopping onions like she was talking about the weather. I asked, "What kind of friend?" She didn't flinch. "My ex-husband." I froze, spoon still in the sauce. She laughed it off. "Relax, Aiden. It was ages ago. We're just friends now. He runs a creative agency. One of the clients brought his team in. You're not going to make a big deal out of this, are you?" I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. Back then, I still believed that love could survive the past. That history didn't have to be a threat. I thought David was just a name, just a memory. But I was wrong. He wasn't some ghost. He was still very much real, and I was about to see how blind I'd been. 3 months after they reconnected, his name started popping up everywhere. At breakfast, "David's team is handling the branding." Over texts, "David wants my input on a campaign." Mid-laughter, "David said the funniest thing today." I noticed the way she said his name. Too often, too easily. Like she wanted me to react like she was watching me. One night, we were on the couch watching TV and she was half laughing at her phone. I asked who it was. She tilted the screen away just slightly and said, "David. He's being ridiculous." I paused the show. "You two talk outside of work now?" She gave me that look, half mocking, half innocent. "It's just chatting, Aiden. Calm down." I let it go. I didn't want to, but I did. Later that night, I sat alone in the kitchen, staring at nothing. I wasn't angry, not yet, but something had shifted. A line was forming. I could feel it. I could see where this was going. A week later it happened. We were doing dishes when she said it like it was nothing. "David invited a few of us to his lake house." I looked at her. "You're going?" She shrugged. "Yeah. This is part work, part fun. I haven't taken a break in months. I deserve that, don't I?" I just stared. "You're seriously going to your ex-husband's lake house for the weekend?" "It's not just me and him, Aiden," she said like that fixed it. "It's a group thing." "You could have said no," I told her. "You didn't have to go." She rolled her eyes. "Why would I pass on it? We're adults. Nothing's going to happen. David and I are just friends." I exhaled slow. "You keep saying that, but you don't act like it's nothing. You light up when you talk about him." She stopped, a plate still in her hand. "You're overthinking it. I haven't done anything wrong." "Not yet," I said. "But you're testing me. You're seeing how far you can go before I draw a line." She tilted her head. "So you're drawing it now?" I nodded, steady. "If you go," I said, "don't come back." She froze. "You're not serious." "I am." She gave me that dismissive smile, the one she wore when she thought I was being ridiculous. "Aiden, don't be dramatic. This isn't high school." "No," I said, setting the plate down. "It's a marriage. And right now you're walking it right to the edge." She studied me, probably trying to figure out if this was real, or just another one of those moments she could talk her way through. But it was real this time. She saw it. I saw her register it. The morning she left, she moved around the house like nothing had changed. She hummed while packing, picked her clothes carefully, took her time with her makeup. Every so often she glanced at me, maybe waiting for me to say something, maybe argue, maybe beg her not to go. I didn't. I just sat at the table, drinking my coffee, scrolling through my phone like it was any other day. Eventually she leaned against the doorframe. "You're really going to blow up our whole marriage over a weekend trip?" I didn't even look up. "If you walk out that door, we're done?" She crossed her arms. "You're overreacting. It's just a few days. It's not that serious." I stood up, walked past her, and opened the front door. She hesitated. "Wow," she said. "So that's it." "That's it." She stood there a second longer, then dragged her suitcase to the front. She kissed me on the cheek like she was indulging a child. You'll cool off, she said. And then she walked out, tossing her bag into the back of a waiting Uber. I watched the car drive away. And I didn't say a word. She never looked back as the car disappeared down the road. I pulled out my phone and called Carter. He showed up within an hour. As he worked on the locks, I started packing her things, not out of anger but methodically. Her clothes, shoes, books, makeup, everything was packed up and set aside. I wasn't leaving any reason for her to return. I sent the boxes to her sister's place. I knew Lily wouldn't go to her parents, they'd ask too many questions. But her sister Zoe would just nod and stay quiet. The last thing I did that day was call my lawyer. I told him I wanted a divorce. I wasn't looking for revenge or hoping she'd come crawling back. I just wanted peace, and I was finally ready to do whatever it took to get it. Lily came back a day earlier than expected. I wasn't supposed to see her until Sunday night, but Saturday afternoon I got an alert on my phone from the security camera on the porch. I was in the middle of a work call when I glanced down and saw her standing there with a suitcase. I excused myself from the meeting and stepped into the hallway. The feed showed her trying the door handle once, twice, then again. Her expression shifted from confusion to frustration. She looked around like the house had changed without her. She pulled out her phone, and a moment later mine started ringing. "Aiden," she said, her voice tight. "The door won't open." I kept my tone even. "I changed the locks." There was silence, then I said, "I told you if you left, don't come back." She laughed nervously. "This is insane. Let's just talk." "There's nothing to talk about," I replied. "Your things are at Zoe's. You'll be served papers next week." Wait, are you actually divorcing me?" she asked, her voice faltering. She paused, and I could hear her breathing heavily, like she was trying to keep herself together. "Can we please just talk inside?" "I didn't even stay the full weekend. I left early." "That was your choice," I said, just like leaving was. I ended the call. She tried calling again 3 times, but I let them all ring out. Then came the text. "This is a huge mistake. You're throwing everything away over a trip. You're acting like a child." I didn't reply. The next alert from the camera showed her sitting on the front steps, elbows on her knees, phone in hand. She looked like someone who realized they weren't the one holding the cards anymore. And for the first time in a long time I felt calm, not angry, not even triumphant, just done. Eventually she left. That night I muted my phone. I wasn't in the mood for her spiraling. I knew whatever story she had lined up, I'd already moved past it. But sometime after midnight I saw a notification. She'd sent a voice message. I stared at it for a while, thumb hovering over the play button. Then I hit it. Her voice came through low and ragged, like she'd been crying for hours. "Aiden, please listen to me. I didn't know how else to say this. I messed up. You were right about David. He wasn't just being friendly. He wasn't just inviting everyone. I mean, he invited people, sure, but he was targeting me. I see it now. I was stupid. I thought I was in control." Her voice cracked. "He waited until I had a few drinks, then we talked alone. I shouldn't have stayed up with him after everyone else went to bed. I swear I didn't mean to." Another pause, then her voice dropped lower. "He recorded something of me. I didn't even know until the next morning. He showed me, said he'd keep it between us unless I told you. He's blackmailing me." I stood there in my kitchen, listening to her words unravel, collapsing under their own weight. "He knows it's over now. He won't answer my calls. I'm scared, Aiden. I didn't want this. I didn't think." Then she lost it, sobbing, her voice barely holding together. "Please don't leave me alone in this. Please. I didn't know what I was doing. I made a mistake, but I need you now. Please come outside." The message ended. I looked at the front door, then the window. She had come back. I could see her on the porch, pacing again, phone in hand. But I didn't move. I picked up my phone, opened our thread, and typed one sentence. "You made your choice. Now live with it." Then I blocked her and went to bed. Sunday passed in silence. Lily was gone. Her number, her email, her social media, all blocked, wiped clean from my life. I showed up to work like it was any other Monday. Clean shirt, morning coffee, focused. By noon I had an email from my lawyer. The paperwork was ready. I signed it and sent it back the same day. By Tuesday the fallout had started. Her sister Zoe texted me, "She's not okay. You should at least talk to her." I didn't reply. A few of Lily's friends, mutual acquaintances from before, tried to reach out. Half-hearted stuff like, "She made a mistake. Don't throw away a marriage over one bad call." One even had the nerve to write, "If you cared about her at all, you'd at least hear her side." I deleted every message without reading past the first line. They weren't there. They didn't know what I had warned her about. They didn't know what I had tolerated, what I had buried inside for years just to keep us afloat. They didn't know I had been the one cleaning up her mess in silence, over and over again. Lily moved into her parents' place after Zoe told her she couldn't stay long. Her father, a strict conservative, had never liked her being close to David even when they were married. From what I heard, he was furious about what she'd done. She told them I overreacted, that it was just a trip. But her mom called me a few days later, calm, respectful. "Aiden," she said, "I'm not calling to fix anything. I just want to say we understand. You didn't deserve this. We're sorry." I thanked her, and that was the end of it. As for David, the moment he realized Lily might talk, might go to the police, he disappeared. He deleted his social media, left the company, and ghosted everyone. She had bet everything on a man who vanished the second things got hard. I just kept moving forward. It's been almost a year now. People still ask, sometimes, friends, coworkers, the few who only heard pieces of the story. What happened with you and Lily? I just say, didn't work out, and leave it there. It's not a story I need to retell for myself. I lived it. The papers went through clean, no legal fights, no drawn-out drama. She signed without a word. Maybe she knew it was over before she ever came back to the house. Maybe it hit her the moment she touched that doorknob and the lock didn't turn. There was no grand confrontation, no apology that could fix it, no redemption arc. She crossed the line. I told her what that meant and I followed through. I think that's what got her the most, not the silence, not even the divorce, but the fact that, for once, I didn't bend. I didn't argue. I didn't give her the reaction she expected. I just walked away. She tried a few times after. New numbers, burner emails, all with the same message. I didn't mean for it to happen. You were right. Please let me explain. I never replied. I didn't need closure. I wasn't looking for her to suffer, and I sure as hell didn't need some last-minute confession to make sense of it all. Because the moment she walked out that door, knowing exactly what I'd said, knowing what it meant, she gave me everything I needed. People asked if I'd ever take her back. No. Not because I hate her, but because I respect myself now in a way I didn't back then. I gave her room. I gave her patience. I gave her every chance to be better. And she gave it all to David, a man who disappeared the second things got hard. I didn't get loud. I got smart. And that made all the difference.